With several large-scale events, including the whole NBA season and E3 being indefinitely postponed or cancelled in the last few days, talk is rife of other large-scale events being cancelled or postponed. This includes both WrestleMania, whose fate is supposedly being decided by the governing body of Tampa today, and even Raw and SmackDown events. This week's SmackDown is very much up in the air, with conflicting reports of its cancellation, non-cancellation, or even its location being reported around the internet. It originally started with PW Insider reporting that WWE had pulled the plug on tomorrow's episode of SmackDown in Detroit, with the episode instead airing from the WWE Performance Center along with 205 Live. However, WWE then released a statement of their own, stating that WWE has not cancelled Friday Night SmackDown in Detroit. However, based on the current situation, we are putting contingency plans in place in the event that upcoming WWE shows are cancelled by government officials, civil authorities, and/or local venues. However, a very interesting post on Reddit has surfaced which seems to indicate this isn't the case, and the episode has in fact been moved to the Performance Center. The post states that all non-talent WWE staff who traveled to TV were notified about the cancellation in an email. The post also then goes on to state that the decision was made by the mayor of Detroit, not WWE, and that all future WWE shows are planned to go ahead as usual, but it's up to officials of those cities whether they actually go ahead or not. While a Reddit post might seem like an odd source to refute a statement made by WWE themselves, a moderator on the Reddit thread confirmed with a post that having seen evidence from the original poster and his credentials, they believe it is verified information that has been sent out. So it seems like we really don't know what's happening with these shows yet. Things seem to change hour by hour in what is a very volatile situation. John Cena and Paige are both advertised for tomorrow's episode of SmackDown, and who knows whether these plans will be altered or changed with a potential move to the Performance Center. With regard to WrestleMania, as previously mentioned, officials from the city of Tampa are meeting today to determine the fate of WrestleMania, along with other large shows and events. However, even if the show does get the green light, it may be difficult or impossible for some international fans to make their way to the show. President Trump yesterday instilled a 30-day travel ban to the United States from all European countries, excluding the United Kingdom. The ban begins this Friday and will end past the date of WrestleMania, which means that the stereotypically hardcore international fans that make for the bizarro world crowds of the Raw after WrestleMania, NXT TakeOver, and WrestleMania itself won't be able to attend the shows. This is devastating news for WWE and for its fans. However, the safety of, well, the world at this point is paramount and should be prioritized above everything else. An alternative solution that some events are taking is to hold events without a crowd, which is something WWE and even AEW may need to look into if the governing bodies of cities won't let these shows go ahead as planned. However, some wrestling companies are still going ahead with shows, including Ring of Honor, who put out a statement to say they are going ahead with their shows as planned tomorrow and Saturday, but encouraged fans to undertake all the safety precautions they could. Whew, I know that was a little heavy and serious, but now it's over to Laurie for the NXT recap like normal. Hot tag.
Hey, guess what? Thanks for your support on Patreon, all Mania Club members, except for Demario North. Charlotte injures Rhea Ripley, the Broserweights stand tall over the Undisputed Era and the grizzled young veterans, and Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano wreck the Performance Center. It's Fan Appreciation Night at NXT, which means the whole Performance Center is going to be ruined. Hope you like that, fans. We can't train them anymore, so they're only gonna get worse. Here is your NXT recap in about 4 minutes. Keith Lee kicked off the show with a bout against Cameron Grimes and his hat, which takes a nasty spill of the ring post to the outside. The referee's all chucking up the old X's like, is it hurt? No, we're just telling you not to wear it again. No! Don't wear it. No, it looks stupid. In the match, Grimes struggles to keep the big man off his feet, and Lee hits a pounce and a big bang catastrophe for the win. But as Lee celebrates, goth cop Damian Priest sneaks in to attack from behind with a nightstick, only to be run off by Dominik Dijakovic, who gets a spirit bomb for his trouble because Lee's not exactly sure who attacked him. Watch the tapes, Lee. Watch the tapes. Damian Priest's been using a nightstick for weeks now, thinking he's Stryker from Mortal Kombat. Mia Yim then managed to earn her place in the #1 contenders ladder match at TakeOver Tampa Bay away after overcoming Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez. At one point in the match, Gonzalez drags Yim out of a pin, giving Kai the chance to get a roll-up, but the ref is so distracted by Gonzalez on the outside that they don't count the pin, which gives Yim a shot to protect your neck and the 1-2-3, and Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez look a little bit stupid. Tick-tock, it's another Doomsday Clock video, and time is almost up. The time is split next though, as Kushida and Raul Mendoza traded flips and kicks in a spirited contest. Kushi manages to win with a rolling armbar from the top rope. Backstage, Austin Theory interrupts NXT original Tyler Breeze and says that NXT is meant to make stars, but that doesn't always work. Wah, wah. Tyler says Theory is a flash in a pan, but there's our matchup brewing. Rhea Ripley arrives to confess to assault on Monday Night Raw, but before she can do that, Charlotte Flair interrupts and she says that WrestleMania won't be about the pressure of performing in front of 80,000 fans or whatever number WWE's inflated it to, or all of the fans chanting Rhea's name. It's gonna all be about handling all of this because it's too much to handle. She says she's gonna drown Rhea after making her walk the plank. Come on, Charlotte, pirate up, it's WrestleMania season. It all breaks down into an inevitable brawl, and Charlotte wraps Rhea's leg around the ring post and locks in the figure 4, leaving Rhea laying. Finn has got his passport and is heading over to the UK to face Walter, and I guess he might not be able to come back with all of those travel bans. Backstage, Raul Mendoza is kidnapped by 2 luchadors in suits and bundled into a car. I mean, it was only a matter of time before NXT started stealing ideas from me. Tegan Nox then knocks off Deonna Purrazzo, and the shiniest wizard manages to magic herself a place in the #1 contenders ladder match. This was short but really fun. The Undisputed Era come out ready for their match with the Broserweights, but they're interrupted by the Velveteen Dream in the Crow's Nest, who speaks in a riddle about 4 guys in the ring but only 3 eyes watching 1 man, and you can't leave the foxes with the chickens because they'll eat them, but how are you going to get the rice across the river? It made no sense. Cole then says he'll become the longest reigning NXT champion next week and is having a celebration. The Broserweights arrive and a great match kicks off. Riddle and Dunn both take a crack at hot tags, and Cole and Strong manage to get themselves ejected at some point in the match. As you would expect from the Broserweights in UE, this was bloody fantastic. After their mates get kicked out, Fish and O'Reilly nearly pick up the win after dumping Dunn into the crowd. Then the grizzled young vets arrive and try to interfere, but even the right-hander Gibson can't keep the Bros down. They dump Fish into the Scouse Lad and hit the finish. This made the Broserweights look utterly unstoppable, but didn't exactly do wonders for either the UE or GYV, who, despite their best efforts, just couldn't put away Riddle or Dunn. To close the show, Tommaso Ciampa arrives to ask why Johnny attacked him, but Johnny is Skyping in from the room next door, which is why Ciampa seems to find him so easily. They brawl all around the Performance Center with Ciampa going through a glass door. He throws a weight and it smashes a mirror in the gym. Gargano sprays some cleaning product in Ciampa's eyes. There's a running knee with a chair through the barricade at ringside, and then it all finishes up with an air raid crash from the Crow's Nest. This really sold this as a proper blood feud, the one that we knew it always was. And all those little real bits of smashed doors and smashed mirrors really drive home how vicious this could be. And if you'd forgotten the magic that these two can work together, this segment was here to remind you. So the hype train for NXT TakeOver Tampa Bay really got rolling this week as Dream and Cole showed down, Dijak and Lee seemingly restart hostilities, the ladder match begins to fill up, and Ciampa and Gargano absolutely wrecked house. Now over to Luke for AEW, and the shape of the day is triangle.
Thanks for that review, Laurie, but it's now time to get elite as I recap the 11th of March 2020 edition of AEW Dynamite in about 4 minutes, which came from Salt Lake City. The show opened with Ortiz taking on Cody, which Cody won with the figure 4, setting up the rules for Blood and Guts in 2 weeks, where you can only win by either submission or surrender. But the big story here is that Jake Roberts came through the crowd with his new client, former NJPW United States Champion Lance Archer, to watch Cody's game. This was a pretty effective debut, different from the usual big attack angle that AEW have done in the past, which I actually really quite liked. After the match, Chris Jericho and the rest of Inner Circle revealed that they'd murdered Nick Jackson, and Bea Priestley made her AEW return when she teamed with Nyla Rose to take on Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida in a match that got really good by the end. They did a lot to put over Shida, and Priestley showed why this company has really been missing her since she went to Stardom pretty much full time. The finish saw Rose pin Shida, and then Priestley attacked Nyla after the match to pose with the belt. Christopher Daniels released a brilliant parody of the Dark Order promos, challenging the group to reveal who the Exalted One really is. Later in the show, it was announced that the Exalted One will be on Dynamite next week. Butcher Blade and MJF beat Jurassic Express in a really fun 6-man tag, which was full of great character work from MJF, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. MJF tapped out Stunt with the Salt of the Earth armbar. Decent stuff. Darby Allin submitted a new student short film, this time dragging a body bag with Sammy Guevara in it. So this feud must continue. Dr. Britt Baker came out to get some decent cheap local town heat when she was interrupted by Big Swole. Baker said that people only talk about Swole because of her boyfriend, current WWE punching bag Cedric Alexander. But Swole pointed out that she's married. Baby, a reference to Baker dating current NXT champion Adam Cole. A really fun insider line that popped those in the crowd that got the reference. But the big story here is this is a second storyline in the women's division. I know, I'm as stunned as you are. Death Triangle made their official team debut with their cool new name, which is cool according to our Twitter poll. Suck it, losers! As they took on Joey Janela and Private Party. Aside from a bad case of legal man syndrome, this was a really good 6-man tag that put over the excellence of Pac, Phoenix, and Pentagon, but also gave a lot of shine to Janela, Marcus Quinn, and Isaiah Cassidy. Death Triangle picked up the win and then locked in their triple submission until Best Friends ran down to make the save. Sean Spears showed some of the submissions he's had for his new tag team partner, which featured the awesome Shug D and some guy I've never heard of. Jon Moxley had a sit-down interview with Jim Ross where he said he had unfinished business with Inner Circle, and the main event saw Hangman Page team with Dustin Rhodes to take on Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara. This had been teased as a mystery opponent over the weekend, and at the top of the show, Page told Matt Jackson point blank that he would never tag with him as he doesn't trust him, which will be very interesting come Blood and Guts in a couple of weeks. And Dustin announced on the show that he would be the partner because he's sick of Inner Circle's antics. While it wasn't the biggest reveal in the world, it did at least make storyline sense. And the two worked well together and picked up the win over Inner Circle, who attacked them after the match like a group of dickheads. Kenny Omega and Cody ran down for the save, but it was Matt Jackson who actually made the difference. But he got distracted by his problems with Page, and Inner Circle stood tall. So that was this week's AEW Dynamite Recap. Why not let me know what you thought of the show using the poll above my head with these options on screen. Overall, I really enjoyed this week's episode of Dynamite. The Hangman Page Elite storyline continues to be the best thing in wrestling right now. The in-ring action was great, the promo work was good, and we've got 2 storylines in the women's division. So yeah, good stuff all round. Have you watched the second episode of our Wrestling D&D series, No Rolls Barred, yet? If not, why the heck not? Click the video and enjoy the madness. And what's the latest on WrestleMania? Click the other video to find out about that. I've been Luke Owen, and that was wrestling.